Well, I've got a great little 2-day trip planned. I am over in Vancouver from Victoria, just off the ferry. I'm here to see Jordan B Peterson's Beyond Order tour. That's being held in Abbotsford, and so I'm on my way there. So to get there, I take the South Fraser Perimeter Road, which is a great new extension to the highway system. Well, it's not new, but the whole time I lived in Vancouver, I always wished there was a good direct route taking you west to east to bypass sort of the major areas of Vancouver. And they finally constructed it, and it was completed the year after I moved out of Vancouver and moved back to Victoria. So go figure. I'm crossing the Fraser River now. This is the Golden Ears Highway, and the area I want to explore today before going to Abbotsford and the Jordan B Peterson tour, I want to go see the area north of Maple Ridge and Mission. It's a pretty good wilderness area out there. There's Golden Ears Park and just a few things that I've heard about or seen on the map and never really done much there. So I think this will be a fun thing. And then tomorrow I'm going to complete it by doing the Duffy Lake Road loop. So more on that later. When passing through Maple Ridge, I decided to stop at the Alouette River and Maple Ridge Park. It's at the corner of 232nd Street and 132nd Avenue. It's got a few parking spots, nice little place to stretch your legs. I thought maybe I would have to come back here for lunch, but I found a better spot. Next up was a visit to Golden Ears Provincial Park, a 555 square kilometer outdoor adventure land. People use it for hiking, horseback riding, picnicking, kayaking, swimming, you name it. It's a great outdoor adventure area. I used to go here a lot with my wife back when we were young, before kids. Once we had kids, we kind of stopped going here, but I think that was in large part due to its popularity and the fact that it was difficult to get campsites here.
So, Alouette Lake. Luckily it's a Thursday, around lunchtime, so it's not packed. Very well set up. Lots of picnic tables. Got some Canada geese for neighbors. A few people out in the water. A few people out boating. It's a gorgeous day.
So after a nice picnic, although I had to fend off the Canada geese who were aggressively trying to get some food items from me, I left Golden Ears and headed to my next spot, which would be Rolley Lake. And that's another park and camping area, but I'd never actually camped there. So it made me think again how we'd gone further afield, like the Cultus Lake, Bridal Falls, or even Lightning Lakes in Manning Park, rather than go to Rolley Lake or other spots north of Mission. And I think the reason is that Golden Ears, back then, there was no reservation system, and it filled up so rapidly that we kind of got jaded trying to get in there. So we went to these other places where it was a little bit easier to get spots. Compared with the vast Golden Ears, Rolley Lake Provincial Park is relatively small. It's really just an area surrounding the small lake itself, but it's very flat land, so it's easy to navigate, and it's well set up for people to come around and hike and camp and just get into nature so close to being in a major city. It's a great little park for that, but it's also very popular, so book ahead if you want to get in. So I've visited 2 provincial parks. My next stop would be to check an area that some people might call primitive camping. This was the area near Stave Falls in the Stave West recreation area. It's an area of combined recreation and forestry land, and there's a lot of things you can do out here along the water. There's a boat launch that BC Hydro maintains, and there's all kinds of hiking, and you can camp in various spots out here, including quite primitive camping. But it's a completely gravel road out here, and you're kind of in the boondocks, so this is an area where there's a lot of bears and you really sort of need to know what you're doing. Although only a couple of hours from downtown Vancouver, this land is pretty remote. It has high mountains, and that means it's likely to stay remote for quite some time. In the 1920s, this area was forested, and they cut down most of the tall trees. But largely that's regrown now, and everything is lush and green and beautiful here. But today isn't really a day for camping, and I didn't really want to go exploring too far since I needed to be in Abbottsford tonight. So I trekked down for a ways and then turned around and made my way back out. I wanted to investigate the falls next, and while I didn't exactly get a good view at them, I did find a nice area to go and visit, and so that was my next experience. Essentially, right across the street was Stave Falls and the powerhouse at Stave Falls Visitor Center. Further down, there's the Hayward Lake recreation area on the Hayward Lake Reservoir. There's a lot of interesting things to do here, including some good hiking, which would take you out to Steelhead Falls, which is not far at all, but it was on the other side of the lake, and I didn't really have time to get there.
Hayward Lake recreation area. Looks like another popular spot. I'll tell you, Maple Ridge. This is actually Mission District now, but the area between, it's all north of Maple Ridge and Mission. Recreation heaven, my goodness.
Upon leaving Hayward Lake recreation area, I come to the dam which separates Hayward Lake from the lower part of Stave Lake, a really large lake itself. The road becomes a single lane crossing the dam, and if you look to the right, you'll be able to see the rushing water underneath. Now, this becomes quite a good motorcycle road and somewhere I've never traveled before, so that's always interesting. Got a couple of really good twisties here, and the scenery is quite nice. It's just basically out in the woods, little glimpses of the lake, but yeah, some really good turns. Makes for a nice ride. The sun's still out, so it's nice and warm. Beautiful day, really. At this point, I'm really feeling like hitting a few good motorcycle turns, so this couldn't have come at a better time. My final destination for the day before turning to Abbottsford and the Jordan B Peterson conference was to head up to Miracle Valley. It was just something I saw on the map, and pretty much the last destination as the roads peter out quite quickly here in the north side of the Fraser River. And, well, there wasn't really much there, but it made for a wonderful motorcycle day. I really enjoyed the roads out here. You're out in the country, but sort of, farm country, and there's houses along the side of the road, so you're not in the middle of nowhere. Well, speaking about the Jordan B Peterson conference, I was not able to take any video inside. That's prohibited, so I honored that and didn't do it. I took a couple of snaps though, so maybe I'll show you one of those here. But yeah, it was an interesting thing. Jordan may have been having an off night, but his prepared speech kind of lacked oomph. I love the flowers here and the flowering shrubs. Very beautiful scene. The greenery is almost overtaking the road here. Anyway, the best part of the show was the Q&A section, where when asked a particular question, Jordan got kind of animated and on a roll, and you could see his personality come out, and that was kind of fun. So it was an interesting evening. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Well, I found this map, and it shows what I'm doing both today and tomorrow. So I was in Victoria, and I headed out to Maple Ridge Park, and then out to Golden Ears, and then Rolley Park, and then I did a trip over to Miracle Valley, and then back down to Abbotsford. And tomorrow I'll be doing the full loop. Till then, bye.